me say a special good morning to one and all who are listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9. Those of you who are viewing GBN TV, let me say good morning to you also. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. Today being Wednesday, the 6th day of November 2024. Those of you who are social media platforms, Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning. Lovely day for me, maybe. Folks may have a little bit of mixed reviews on the outdoors. 1 minute the sun is out in its glory, then the rain pours. So it's kind of mixed. It's my kind of day, I would say. Let me say good morning to my guests. Let me say good morning to Oliver Redhead. Good morning to you, sir. Nice to have you back. It's been a little bit, right?
Yes, it has.
It's been a little bit. I haven't seen you being on the program, and nice to have you back. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, well, not too bad. Just busy, but certainly managing and doing as best as I can. Let me say good morning to all of your listeners, both online, radio, and also television.
All right. You know, lots have been happening lately around the island. Yeah. You know, post-burial and all the other stuff that's going on. Let's start the conversation primarily, of course, in your constituency. Right. Tell me what some of what's been taking place, some of the latest achievements in the constituency and so forth over for the year thus far. Let's hear about that.
All right. Well, excellent. Well, thanks again for the opportunity. Well, I would start off by saying that it has been going pretty okay. What we campaigned on, we are actually fulfilling it, albeit slow when it comes to the human resource aspect, meaning the development of the human resource. Mm-hmm. So, for example, we do have a program that we intend to launch, certainly within this term, to be able to capture, by and large, single mothers who are otherwise underemployed, struggling to make ends meet, have children that they need to send to school, want to improve their education so that they can get a better quality of life. And so that program is, we have begun speaking to different groups. It is going to also incorporate the teenage and adult literacy training that we want to do, and from a holistic standpoint, to really improve the quality of the female single mother in St. George, Northeast. This is honestly my goal. And I say this on the backdrop that I believe one of the biggest challenges in the country today is the lack of fathers in the household. But we can't force people to be together.
So true.
And therefore, what we need to do is to build a single parent unit or homes where there are serious potential of young people who can become very successful if they get the right training, notwithstanding their circumstances from a family standpoint. So this is something that we are keen on in implementing during the course of our term, and we intend to fulfill that and commence really by 2025 with such a program.
You know, you spoke a wee bit on the literacy level, especially within the communities. Sometimes it's a little bit concerning.
Yes.
When we see, especially the female aspect of it and the young men aspect of it also. You know how they care about themselves and the way of life for them, and sometimes you make you feel as an individual yourself, and make you feel a little bit unhappy. Yeah. That their standards should have been a bit higher than How is that much of a concern for you, especially within your constituency?
Right. Very much a concern, and not just concern of me and the constituency, but government by and large and the party. I think the challenge that we face at this present moment is almost a chicken and egg situation. Whether or not we focus on trying to improve the youngest among us, their standard, notwithstanding the environment that they are contained or growing up in, or should we focus also on the mothers, the fathers who are growing up the children, and focus on fixing the environment. So it's almost a chicken and egg, but it's something that we are putting, I would say, the plan or program in place to be able to resolve. But this remedial program, the intention of it is that it will solve the problem, the underlying problem, and not try to put a plaster or go about as a piecemeal, but to ensure that from the depths of the concern, as you rightfully put it, that we are solving or bringing solutions to this very vexing issue, especially when it comes to single mothers having to raise the boys and the girls and them falling victim to the ills of society. So it's a way to ensure that we support the family. And we are not only talking about this from a constituency standpoint. One of the policies by this administration, certainly at the Ministry of Labour, was to ensure that when it comes to maternity leave, we also included for the first time paternity leave. So fathers are going to have the opportunity now to bond coming from the work environment, notwithstanding that they need to earn the income to continue to sustain the family, but they're going to have the opportunity legally to be able to bond with the family so that we can continue to create that question of a strong middle-class family in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Yeah, I want us to get a little more in depth into the constituency. Of course, you talk about it a little briefly on the start, and of course we tend to focus more on the female aspect and the literary part of it.
Yeah.
Tell us what some of the achievements within the constituency. Right. I mean, it's been 2 years now.
Yes.
You being the MP for the particular constituency. What are some of those achievements that you would say may have stand out thus far for you?
Well, definitely the assistance to education or towards education with a number of constituents, young, old, not so old, pursuing degrees at TAMCC, different university, skills training, that sort of thing. Ensuring that we improve the quality and capacity of our constituent. That is a major achievement. As it relates also to the whole question of small business. Now, one of the things we did when we came in was to get an assessment, although it was not a full-scale scientific one, but one based on observation on the question of the nature of small businesses in St. George Northeast, while we concluded before or prior coming into office that it was largely agricultural. But you'll be shocked to know that is not the case. And some of the nature of small businesses lean more on a lot of tourism type or services sector, a small business. So we've been attempting to try to create the sustained support for small businesses so that we can help reduce the unemployment rate in the constituency. Again, attracting KM2 solutions in St. George Northeast was another major advantage. While we are still looking at the impact in the immediate vicinity, but definitely throughout the constituency, young people have been going and applying, getting through, and they now earn an income, and more people are employed in the constituency than when we first took office in 2022. So we are satisfied with that and the trend that it is going after. A lot of investment is taking place. So from the level of construction, infrastructure in particular, public infrastructure, that has seen a major improvement. What we have been focusing on a lot is flood mitigation and access to properties, etc., so that we could drive further development and investment in land purchase, private sector investment, etc. So it has been going well. I am taking the approach from not just a political partisan standpoint, but I want to improve the general quality and standard of the constituency, certainly when I intend to leave and when the people intend to have me exit.
It comes to like a thought comparator. Now that you don't have a particular ministry,
right,
with the aches of a particular ministry to worry about, you now have, shall I say, more of the free time. To be within the constituency and see that the do's and what you have to do in those particular constituencies. No, I'm assuming that you've been having the time out now to go to the various parts that maybe you didn't get the time to when you were a particular minister. Your focus has been on the ministry and all the inputs that you have to put in there. Now, going through the various areas of the constituency and seeing things that maybe needs to be sorted out. How has that been for you lately, and the kind of feedback you've been getting, especially from the constituents, in terms of being able to do these things now, and if they are getting done?
Right. Yeah, I think the challenge, the number one challenge, because I wouldn't come here to try to pretend that it's all hunky-dory perfect, right? But I think the number one challenge is the slow pace of the bureaucracy to be able to solve problems for people. And I could just give you examples. People would come to me sometimes, duration of 2 weeks, while we do not have robots in the public service, but at the same time, when you pass on information, in some instances it is almost immediate. And the slowness of the public service bureaucracy. So I'm not targeting any individuals, but just how it is made up. To get something resolved, you might have to go to the Ministry of Legal Affairs. The Ministry of Legal Affairs might have to go to the Ministry of Infrastructure. The Ministry of Infrastructure might have to go to the Ministry of Health, and so on. So it encompasses all these different channels and so on, which sometimes slows down the process and makes it very difficult to bring solutions sometimes. So I get the sense sometimes that the frustration is not so much hinged on the fact that nothing is being done, but certainly a lot is being done. But it is the response. Now, we have to be fair sometimes, because a lot of that deals with how you as the Member of Parliament need to manage expectations as well, because some issues, they have been existing for as far back as 20 plus years or even more in my constituency. And when citizens, residents, constituents come to me to resolve them, we have to look at all of the implications and not just one. I'll give you an example. I was working with a particular constituent to build a footpath or walkway for them to be able to access their homes a little easier. And the truth is, while myself and the constituent engaged, okay, but when it came to actually starting the construction now, notice here neighbors here and who talking about boundary.
A whole different dispensation.
So then as MP, I now have to get involved by ensuring that we have a letter, all of us sit, we agree on the specifics, and we all signed it.
Yeah.
So each of us hold a copy, that sort of thing. Ensuring that peace prevails. And this is synonymous throughout the entire constituency. And whenever we attempt to do anything and there is any issue of land and so on, I often try to, so long as I am aware, I often try to intervene to bring peace. And anybody could tell you about that. That is my nature. All kind of people come to me for all kind of things. Even the homeless and so on come to my office and I entertain them. Some of them, we could resolve their problems. Some of them, they talk things about, being employed with the state since revolution, not having a pension, that kind of thing. So we entertain the conversation more so for me to get a full assessment. So I don't really turn people away as long as I am there and as long as they have made a request to see me and I'm there and I'm available, I would meet. Certainly with time, you have to manage that. So we often engage everybody, right? NDC, NNP, whatever other party that seems to want to exist, etc. We engage everybody just to hear their views, their feedback, because I'm not a petty individual. People come to my office, they can criticize me openly right in front of my face, and we could still work towards me giving them some assistance, because I think at the end of the day, you need to develop that level of maturity, not so much in politics, but for nation building.
I agree.
Right. So it has nothing to do necessarily always with partisan politics, but the maturity required for nation building. When something is good, you say it's good. When something needs criticizing, you criticize it, but certainly what we want to encourage with a solution.
I agree with you there. I have a final question for you. I would throw this out, keeping with the constituency. There's that issue that folded a couple of months ago, that bus. What's the latest on that? Right.
So the issue has been resolved. I am pleased to report to the nation that we would resume the reconstruction of it. Yeah. And again, peace prevailed. I think by and large, all things being equal, all of us want development in our country. And it matters not who is doing the development, but I think the coordination and I think the dialogue, communication, and understanding really that development is not about who has done, but ultimately is how it is going to impact and benefit society and the quality of life people are going to have as a result of that development. So good sense prevails. So I can gladly report this to the...
Certainly happy to hear that, because it's been always, sometimes it has, I feel like sometimes a little bit of an eyesore lately, watching it and say, this has been going on for a period of time, and happy to hear that has been resolved.
Yes.
And we do for a break. Let's take it. We come back and we chit-chat some more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point. Classic Radio, GBN TV. We'll be right back after the break. Stay with us.
Tourism is me, tourism is you, tourism is everybody, and tourism connects us all.
Did you know that tourism generates revenue and foreign exchange earnings?
Did you know it stimulates infrastructural development and facilitates cultural exchange among people?
You must know tourism is linked to all industries,
from agriculture to construction.
So support the industry today and be welcoming to all our visitors.
Tourism is my business. Tourism is your business. Tourism is our business. Listen, one and all. Tourism connects us all.
A message from the Ministry of Tourism
and the Grenada Tourism Authority.
Grenada Duty Free and GBN, we are partnering for this Christmas season. Folks, it's going to be a bumper one. We can actually start feeling the energy, the vibe is start building, the promotions that start coming in, and the fragrances, the chocolate. We have up to 15%, 20%, 40%. It's going to be a crazy one. We are looking forward to seeing you. We are ready to treat you guys special. We are ready to give back to you after this whole year of, being with us and everything and the support. So with our partnership with GBN, it's going to be a bumper season. Looking forward to seeing you guys.
Proud sponsors of Christmas with GBN includes Ace Hardware, Hubbards, Flow, Duty Free Caribbean, and I'm Supportings.
Anyway, welcome back to our listeners and viewers once again to the point here on Classic Radio. Your host is GT, and of course we have MP with us, Ron Redhead with us this morning. MP, welcome back. Mm-hmm. Let's continue with the conversation this morning. I want to get into Carriacou and PT Martinique. Tell us a wee bit about the deeply involved in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. I know you've been deeply involved in Carriacou and Petit Martinique over the last couple of months. Mm-hmm. What's the present situation there?
Right. So I've been there maybe about a week and something back, or just beyond that, for a funeral of a good NDC stalwart, Brother Bob. So my observation is that we are making steady progress. So far, post Hurricane Beryl, the preliminary assessments, those things, they have been, give or take, me about 90-95% completed by the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, and the others. Where we are now, the essential services in terms of the buildings, police station, all these other areas, they have been totally repaired, and thanks to the Guyana Defence Force, they have been a great and tremendous help. So far, private sector commerce is returning in certain areas. I noticed one of the beachfront restaurants, they have returned and they have announced their reopening. Generally, by and large, the issue of waste is ceased to be a challenge, although we had that situation with the playing field, unfortunate situation the other day. But generally, by and large, that has ceased to be an issue. We have cleaned up some of the sunken vessels. That process has begun under the Ministry of Climate Resilience. We would have put the information out there. We have commenced generally, or by and large, the access to the materials in terms of concessions, etc., etc. While we had some challenges, as it will naturally be, because we are still discussing post a Category 4 hurricane and the devastation it caused, the disruption it caused. But by and large, we are making steady progress with the question of stabilizing the situation and ensuring that the critical areas that need to be attended to are attended to. The hospital was just reopened in Carriacou, and we are in the process of doing some work in Petit Martinique, in particular with some of the infrastructure, the public infrastructure there. I know contractors are engaged and should be commencing work in various areas soon with public infrastructure in Petit Martinique, also in Carriacou, and with some of the medical stations. So we are satisfied that the situation is stable. Carriacou Petit Martinique is no longer a disaster zone or declared a disaster zone. We've been able to lift that at least within 2 months after the passage of the hurricane, and we are ensuring that the rebuilding process that is required, Project Build Back Better, for example, that is going well, and people are seeing the fruits of it. Certainly when it is finished, there will be a big launch by the Minister and his team, and certainly the Ministry of MIT, and the Minister would be there, and I assume Honorable Prime Minister would be there as well to give his blessing on the whole process and progress that we've made. So by and large, while we do have some more micro challenges, and you would accept that some families would be able to move faster than others to be able to access the materials, etc. And we do have the challenges now and again of shortages of materials, cement, etc. So we're also coping with that, notwithstanding the challenge of rebuilding. But by and large, things are going pretty well. We have seen a significant support, 27 homes from a US-based charity organization. They have been invited to come, and they are building or rebuilding 27 prefab homes. That has commenced as well. I am aware of a 20-foot container just landed of toys, certainly from a charity organization in the US, to be given out to the children in Carriacou, Petit-Martinique. Certainly as we build up to the Christmas season, notwithstanding the disaster, but at least they could still bring cheer to them, and the MP, Honorable Tevin Andrews, is ready to do that distribution as soon as he obtains. The diaspora ambassador, I want to place on record my thanks and gratitude. I think when he saw the destruction, as with every other Grenadian who's assisting in the rebuilding process thus far, got up and went out to negotiate. So the 27 prefab homes is as a result of his initiative. The 20-foot container is also as a result of his initiative. He is also the assistant public relations officer of the National Democratic Congress. We also, as the NDC as a party, we've also assisted the people of Carriacou and Petit-Martinique by way of donating to NADMA to assist them with gloves, tools, and so on, so that they could do and roll out some of the more rigorous long-term cleanup that is required to ensure that we maintain the sanity and sanitation up in Carriacou and Petit-Martinique. So there is a lot being done, certainly from a government standpoint, and also private sector standpoint, and also community or charity organizations around the world giving back to Grenada, and we are eternally grateful for that.
You know, I hear you speak a lot about Carriacou and what is taking place. But the question will be asked now, what is your official designation for what you've been doing in Carriacou?
No. Cabinet had asked me to, so I spent about officially 1 month and about 3 or 4 weeks in Carriacou dealing with the question of the initial response. So maybe I would share this with the public. And when we got up there, myself and another Grenadian, we were very much concerned with what we met in terms of the immediate chaos. While it is expected, but there were open attempts to try and destabilize the situation and capitalize on the crisis that had emerged after the passage of Hurricane Beryl. And we were able to crush that immediately upon reaching, first and foremost, ensuring that the port would be a sensitive area and a no-go just for any and everybody. So we had to enforce that. This was not being enforced when we got up there, and we had to enforce that. All kind of chaos, goods coming in, people just taking things all over the place, throwing it and so on. So that was being done, and we were able to crush that immediately. And the reason why we were up there, designated by Cabinet, the rebuilding of Carriacou Petit-Martinique in terms of post the hurricane is the responsibility of the government of Grenada, and appointed by Cabinet at the time, just serve in that capacity to be able to coordinate not necessarily the relief measures, but to coordinate all that is required, including the relief measure as a package going into the rebuilding. That was my purpose up there.
All right.
Yeah.
You know, some folks may say, well, Carriacou has an MP. How, you know,
no, but
you understand.
That's correct. But support is always better, and how we do it in the NDC, or certainly government, we support one another, and therefore no challenge is ever fought by the individual in their constituency. We're a team.
All right, happy to know that. Well, you know, General Council was on Sunday.
Yes.
What are the outcomes? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Well, not much outcome. Mundane stuff, electing the disciplinary committee members, etc., and just charting the way forward. We did get the line of march by the Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, who was very inspiring. And I must add, for those who were in attendance, he was very, very entertaining as well. And I think, by and large, the message is that this administration, notwithstanding the 2 years or 2.5 year midterm mark that we've made, has been able to achieve great many things. And the achievements are twofold. One, our philosophy was that the things that we came in and we met, which were good, we would not interfere with it. We will enhance it and continue. Those that were not good by way of policy and otherwise programs, we would stop it and create the environment to get it new, to get it better, etc. And this is what we have been doing. Also being able to implement a great portion of our manifesto. This is something that the Prime Minister highlighted, and we are satisfied that we are on the right track from a government standpoint. The party is also doing well, notwithstanding loose criticisms. I think sometimes, and we just had the election in the US.
Yes.
Everyone said President-elect Donald Trump would lose because the polls suggested otherwise, and that the momentum was going in the Democrats' favor. Now, I would not stay here to give my own feeling of in terms of prediction, simply because as a representative of government, I would not try to,
You didn't want to go down that road this morning. No.
But certainly what we want to do is to congratulate the President-elect thus far. You will hear an official statement from the government of Grenada on the election results, and we look forward to continued engagement with the US, as we have always had, to ensure that we build our region. And note, I'm saying region because I think it's best when we go as a bloc rather than individuals. And so we look forward to that peaceful negotiation. But from a party standpoint, coming out of General Council, we are satisfied that we are doing all that we have to do, and this certainly is something that we're in for the long haul.
Yeah, so there's a conversation of hearing some of the positive of government for the past 2 years. I'm not sure if you want to take your time, take a few minutes and highlight some of the positive of the National Democratic Congress being in government for the last 2 years and so. Give me some insights on that.
Well, so I'll just mention a few, and certain callers would be able to call and chat in. So, we've had the question of the minimum wage, the increase in that, and it's worthy to note that on the 2 occasions that we've had minimum wage increases, at least in the last 20-something years, the National Democratic Congress government has taken that, I want to use the word credit, but we have to take that credit, so to speak, for achieving that, because we are explicitly focused on the development of workers, notwithstanding that there are sector or segment in a society and economy, but you have to give them some attention so that they can become stronger middle class and go into building a stronger economy. So the question of the payment of the pension, that is something that we were keen on, we campaigned on it, and we are happy to achieve it. We have done great many other things, including the achievement in health, and healthcare is a topic that we can always debate, but the underlying issue with healthcare is not just about the hospital, etc. It's about the management system, is about what mechanisms that we need to put in place to be able to lead out a professional healthcare operation. And so the agreement and deal that we've signed with Mount Sinai is excellent and will help us to propel the General Hospital and our services in the right direction. The purchase of the lands to be able to build Project Polaris is something that we are satisfied with, and we are happy that we were able to achieve this. We are in the process of looking to see how we can enhance so I would put it as the community health centers, so to speak, so that by and large the burden that is placed upon the General Hospital is not so much going to be a burden going forward, but we'll have stronger medical stations in communities, in constituencies that can serve people and can deal with some of the challenges before having to go to the General Hospital as a last resort. And so we're working feverishly in those regards. We have done great many things in the agricultural sector. We have done great many things certainly for, and I would say for youth and business, tourism, another growth area, sports. Grenada is going to have its cricket field lit for the first time, and it took us less than 2 years to achieve this. And so we understand the importance of sports tourism and bringing benefits to the country. The Prime Minister spoke extensively a few weeks ago about some of the benefits that trips overseas are bringing to us. So we are satisfied by and large that we are meeting the targets as to what we want to do. Focusing on a micro level as well, because the question of regularization of land, the question of regularization of our public officers, over 400 of them regularized already, and working on the pension reform program to take into consideration the 3,000 plus or so workers who are not permanent but is employed based on contractual arrangement with the government, ensuring that they would have a pension scheme that they could benefit from. So we are working feverishly to be able to take sectors in the economy and, in a sense, enhance them and make a much stronger Grenadian economy. We are satisfied that the growth is well. Unemployment has fallen and continues to decline. The amount of availability of jobs that I see on a regular basis, again, the question is now the capacity of the individuals to fill the jobs. And that's the disconnect that we wanted to fix with the reforming of the Imani program. And we are satisfied that we have gotten to that level there, and we will be announcing. Again, the key thing for us is to take institutions that already are existing and established in Grenada to develop our young people. Don't go and create some ad hoc thing that is just politically motivated, but build the young people through the developed, established institutions so that they can have and build the capacity to be able to take on the jobs, certainly of the future.
Right. Any word yet when is we go have convention, the NDC convention?
Certainly. It's next year, March, the month of March, the date to be announced, but next year, March.
Okay,
yeah, we've already decided. That's one of the highlights from the General Council.
All right. We're due for a break. Let's take it. Folks, stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. It's To The Point here on the Classic Radio GBN TV. We'll be right back.
This holiday season, get ready for a magical celebration packed with culinary delights, crafts, and music that will bring joy to your heart. But that's not all. Lots of giveaways are waiting for you. Stay tuned and make this Christmas one to remember only with GBN.
Hello, everybody. My name is Renee Goodwin, and I am the marketing manager here at True Blue Bay Resort. And I am so excited to invite you all to join us every Thursday on GBN, starting from November 7th, as we count down to the holiday season, right here at True Blue Bay Resort, Grenada's best family-friendly resort for visitors and locals.
Welcome back once again, listeners and viewers. If you see me smiling, just a little bit of an off-air conversation here with, of course, with the MP. Welcome back once again. We'll be entertaining your calls shortly, folks. For those of you, of course, wanted to call in and maybe ask the MP a question or two. A question I want to ask a wee bit, MP, is at this time, do you have any intention of running again as a candidate for the second time, or you'll be focusing more on the studies?
No. Studies are not. I am running. So ever since I was growing up, politics is something I've been fascinated with. And it's not just as I said, the partisan politics. Certainly, I remain a National Democratic Congress supporter and will continue to remain a National Democratic Congress supporter and member, and will run in the next general election once God permit. But you have to recall, too, that these processes are subjected to its own internal discussion, maybe even election. Some people get to vote, etc. And so as a democratic institution, all right, we would ensure that the best among us are chosen to run. So I have intention, I have the interest, but definitely it's subjected to the democratic process of the National Democratic Congress.
You know, I haven't asked you that question, and I'm sure anyone been asking you for a while, but I always want to ask, how these studies going, sir?
No, it's excellent.
I want to know, what particular field are you looking
Right,
into?
so I am doing international business. Yeah. Right, it's going excellent. A bit burdensome sometimes to meet the deadlines for the assignments, and sometimes you can't get enough sleep and so on. But it's going well and should be wrapped up when that time comes. We'll make the announcement and everything.
I believe that. You know, sometimes folks see you around the constituency doing all that stuff, so they want it.
Yeah.
So, you know, to be frank, it's just with around really doing something at a study level. So sometimes you just need that clarification.
Yes, it's understood, but sometimes some people are just a little too petty, because whether or not, you know, the studies was going on, they some people just not genuine anyhow with the concern. So yeah, I'm not stressed out too much about that.
All right. Yeah. Folks, we're going to entertain some of your calls. 435-2041. That's the number here on the program, folks. If you do have a question or two you may like to ask the MP, feel free to do so in this segment. Let's entertain our first caller. Caller, good morning, and you're welcome, and you're live.
A pleasant good morning to you. I have been listening to this program in Perth, and an idea has crossed my mind and would like to share it with you gentlemen. Now, the hurricane passed and Carriacou, Petit Martinique were flattened. I think just saying thanks is not enough. If subject to correction, we had soldiers, I think it's from Guyana. We had, again, people, I think it's soldiers or other persons from Trinidad. It has crossed my mind that, as I said, just saying thanks is not enough. If these persons, their names, and of course you have their names, and what can be done is you give them a medal of honor. Let's say, well, when Guyana has its independence celebration, or Trinidad when they have the independence celebration, maybe the Prime Minister, somebody from NADMAN, who else, can go in and present these people with that medal of honor. And I think this will help to boost or bring closer the ties in with CARICOM. It has just crossed my mind, and I thought I would share this with you. I would like you, gentlemen, to think about it and see what could be done in that direction. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you, Mus. Great idea.
Excellent suggestion, caller. I think we have already recognized the soldiers, the Guyanese Defense Force soldiers, and also Trinidadian personnel who came for the restoration of electricity, and others who came from the RSS, etc. But by and large, to do something demonstrating that, I think the Ministry of Carriacou Martinique Affairs held a ceremony with them. It was a wonderful ceremony, saying thanks, etc. Gave them a plaque, and there is something installed on particular buildings which they helped to renovate. But they definitely gave yeoman service to the cause of restoration post Hurricane Beryl, and we are forever grateful. As the caller said, thanks is not enough, but certainly thanks is the right step to take, and the point is well taken by him.
Right. I have a question here from someone via the WhatsApp, and they're asking, they're saying, concerning the wages, and in terms of, they said that the Minister of Labour, in reference to the minimum wage increase, and they're asking if you can tell them if whether the Bushian will also be receiving that increase in the minimum wage, if it applies to them also.
At this moment, I can't confirm that, unfortunately, listener, but what I would say is that you could reach out to the Ministry of Labour to find that information out. All right? Okay, but I can't confirm that on the program right now.
Caller, good morning, you're live.
Good morning to you. And good morning to Honorable Ron Redhead. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, taking time off from your busy schedule. We do appreciate your enlightenment. I also want to say thanks to the government of Grenada for giving to our poultry farmers, quite a number of them, throughout the island, a number of live chicks and feed, so they can continue with their business of poultry and make sure that they have, food on their plates for Christmas. I do hope that the farmers make use of it and add to that of the food security for our country and by extension, all of Grenada. And I want to say thanks again to the government and continue to do what you do. And those of us who are benefiting, please do not hesitate to say so. Sometimes I wonder, because you hear some people say that they're not getting and they're supported, and some they say that those on the other side are getting all of it. And a lot of help are coming through. Who is really benefiting? Have a great day. I thank you.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution this morning. We do have another caller via the WhatsApp. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning. You're welcome and you're live.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning to the minister and the morning selectors. I'd like to take this opportunity to commend the minister. I think I've told him before, but I'd like to publicly let him know that I have seen much improvement in him. I have seen maturity in him as an individual as well as a minister, and I have to commend him on that. I want to ask a question with regards to, I did see we have been complaining about the PR of the party, and I can also say that I see that things are being put in place to improve such. But I saw that Django, I think, did a program, but I didn't look at it. But when I went to look at it, I realized that it was no longer on the page. Can you tell me maybe why? I'm not sure if that's possible. Also, I'd like to recommend that the government do a survey amongst individuals to find out, as the caller before would have said, who are the support reaching? Are the support actually reaching the people that it needs to reach, to ensure that, we are on the right path and we are actually changing and transforming the lives of the people? And my last question is, when does the parliament resume? Because, we need to keep things going. But all in all, I want to, let the minister to keep his head up and keep pushing forward.
Thank you, caller. Thank you very much.
Right. Thanks, caller. So I'll take the last question first. Parliament has the session, it has resumed. Governor General gave the speech there. So we would be going towards budget 2025 in 2025. The date to be announced by the Ministry of Finance.
All right. Yeah. We do have another caller. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings and greetings to your guest there. Listen, very interesting comments coming from the gentleman. And I'm happy to know that correct me if I'm wrong, are you still a minister, sir?
I remain a member of Parliament. I no longer hold a
MP. That's a totally different thing. You are a member of Parliament, and that's exactly what I just wanted to verify that you're not a minister. I believe the thing will work always better if we weren't duped over the years into believing that if you elected as a member of Parliament, legislator, lawmakers as synonyms, and when we get mixed up with the same people being held as the executive and the cabinet, I believe things will go better. I'm happy to know that you're not mixed up in it now. But you have mentioned a lot of things about what you've been able to do as a representative of the constituency, and that's nice. I'm happy to hear that. But tell me, your principal job for which the people elected you as a legislator, can you share with us anything that you have done as it relates to the laws, the standard laws that we have them right now, the enhancement, or any new laws that you have participated in your principal role as Member of Parliament, lawmaker, legislator? Question that I trust you understood, and I look forward to listening to you. Have a nice day, Mr. Telesford.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one yourself.
Yes. Thanks very much, citizen. So, yes, I had two legislations. The first one has to do with the question of Nawasa and the removing the lien on the bills so that when you leave a person's property and you had a previous bill, the bill does not stay on the property and allows for you to still further develop. If you need to get a new tenant, etc., you still can. So that's one. The other one certainly is the question of the not the gun amnesty, but the measures in the criminal code, the amendment to them. This is something that I personally took stake in, and I reached out to several stakeholders, including people who were associated with the bar, including criminals themselves, to discuss this. And I could give one example. One criminal said to me that if you allow money to be in for the gun amnesty, people are going to cash in on it and they're going to continue to buy the guns because it's a dog-eat-dog world and we need to survive. He said to me, sometimes you have to teach people the tough way and show them tough love so that they could straighten up and fly right. We still have instances of gun violence in the country today. But certainly when this spike started, this is something that we were personally getting involved in and engaged in. Something I'm working on, I'm not at liberty to announce it as yet, but it has to do with the reduction of an element of cost of living. I don't want to announce it because myself, the cabinet colleagues, etc., we're still in dialogue with that. We want to ensure that the livelihoods of people are going to be better off. I am well involved in almost all of the legislations that come to the Parliament, certainly through our own legislative agenda. And therefore, I see myself as playing my prime duty, not just passing the laws and not just representing in the constituency and bringing benefits, but certainly as a legislator, putting forward credible legislations that are impacting people's lives and reducing costs of living and finding ways to enhance the quality of life that they enjoy in Grenada. Right. So I believe I'm doing just that.
Okay, great. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Morning. And morning to your guest. Quick question. The NDC of the past was bent on the past administration about declaration of assets and stuff. Now, are you willing and would encourage your colleagues to declare, y'all 2 years and more going, declaration of your assets, what you had before you enter the political life, and in leaving what you achieved? I hope you get the point I'm trying to make. And are you in your capacity, as it is now, to speak on Grenada's oil and gas potential? Because you're hearing all kind of mix-up thing, and seeing that you're a member of, how to put it, of the NDC, you should be well aware of what is taking place. And it seems to me like the Prime Minister is the only one that have a mouthpiece when it comes to talking about oil and gas. And you inside, you should have at least a vague idea of what's taking place with Grenada oil and gas potential. I'll leave it there for now.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution this morning. Response to the caller?
Well, as it relates to declaring of assets, the law is very clear in terms of the process. There's the Integrity in Public Life Act, and there goes through. I could see for me personally, I have not filed mine simply because the time doesn't permit me, and every year we have to keep filing this. I have nothing new than last year to include, so I'm not at liberty to speak on any other member at this time. As it relates to the question of oil and gas, this is a public matter. This is something that we have raised repeatedly. The Prime Minister gave the statement on it, and certainly as a member of Parliament and as a member of his team, I stand 100% by it. Well, sometimes I would just say to the caller, look, this preamble and rumor about he seemed to know and so on, let's stop this thing. Oil and gas was not being handled well in the past by the former administration, and it is this administration that is attempting to do something genuinely to improve the quality of life that we experience.
Okay, thank you so much. Caller via WhatsApp, good morning, you're live.
Hey, good morning, Comrade Ran. How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad.
Anyway, and to wish your family members speed recovery. You know what I'm talking about. You don't have to get into
Thank you.
You know what I'm talking about. And, okay, one of the things, Iran, the people in the diaspora complain about is that when they come home, they don't have no nightlife, basically. You know what I mean? It's either they might have to run down in Guave, look for somewhere to go. You know what I mean? So I'd like to tell me what plans that you guys have that you could bring back nightlife, like during the revolution, like you could take the bus, go down Guave, you hang out and you come back, And that's one of the complaints that I'm getting. A second thing I want to talk about, again, what I've been hearing, people calling for the town hall. I know you guys doing the youth town halls and things. And one of the forum that I saw you into was the one in St. David's. You know, maybe I like to see that spread more in the different parishes, where all the ministers come together and people get to have discussion, Right. And then another thing, okay, I listened to the opposition side, and Mr. Cox was making a lot of pronouncement that he said nothing going on in Carrickle, no house and nothing going on. How would you speak to that? Because I know you're a guy who, and Tevin is very tight, and you'll be up that side. So maybe you could explain a couple of things that going on that Mr. Cox and them don't want us to know about. Thank you, Ron.
Yes. All right,
I think you did speak a bit of Carriacou for the morning already. We did speak a wee bit in relation to that.
Yes, man. All right, thanks. Well, just the first question, the question of nightlife. So the government of Grenada is about to pilot some public-private partnership transport initiatives that we believe would enhance the transport sector, which is going to be able to address. The Honorable Prime Minister, who's the lead minister on this portfolio, has already met with the taxi operators, bus associations. They have been in negotiations, so to speak, receiving proposals, etc., getting the agreement on how we are going to roll this out. So the question of nightlife largely deals with the transport sector and how well it will be able to be predictable and available to John public, certainly so that they can have and hang out in activities. The issue that we need to continue to tongue is a genuine one. I want to thank you, caller, for it. And I would say that the youth engagements, they are going well. It's part of the whole question of budget development. And in terms of what we want to see in the budget for the young people, the minister is keen on that. She is best suited to speak on it at this moment. But I know we have some carded for St. Patrick, and we also have carded for St. John as well. And the last question, I don't recall.
I think this was relation to Carriacou.
Right.
We did speak
So
at
we
length
spoke on that.
Carriacou for the morning. We take our final caller for the morning, and then we get some closing contribution. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Good morning, sir. Hello.
Caller, go right ahead, please. And I recommend you turn off or the device in the background. I think that's causing a little confusion there for you.
Right.
Go right ahead, please.
Let me say good morning to the minister, not minister, but the representative. I think you have a lot of things on top of your head. You seem to be in control of a lot of things. But I think you answer. I'm not satisfied with the answer you gave the gentleman concerning the assets. You have nothing to declare. It is a law. It has to be declared every year. So you can't say that you don't have nothing to declare. You have to go with the rules and regulations. So I ain't satisfied with your answer there. In terms of the hospital, it seems to me that the Prime Minister have a different opinion to the Minister concerning the hospital, because they both give different, and the Prime Minister himself said that the Minister may be talking about long-term something or whatnot. The fact is, we should be speaking with one. The Cabinet should be speaking with one voice. When you go back to the public, when you bring it into the public, it should be so. And I'm not satisfied that enough information is given concerning the stage, what stage the hospital will be at, whether it's we say privatization, we have some other again. So that should be more thoroughly explained to us, the nation. I don't have no problem with anything that is done to the hospital that will bring betterment to the hospital and to the citizens. But it must be more properly explained towards the people. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Appreciate your contribution. Respond to the call.
Right. Well, just quickly, just to say that as it relates to my assets, my comment is to say that I'm not amassing anything new, and it's a whole process. You had to pay for this bank statement and all these other drama. That's all I'm saying. But it's the law, and I intend to fulfill it. That's one. Two, as it relates to the question of the hospital, the Prime Minister, the Honourable Prime Minister, and the Minister of Health is not saying two different things. They are saying one. Prime Minister has just indicated that while statutorization itself is a more long-term goal for when we construct the new hospital, etc., but generally we are aiming to deal with some of the immediate concerns. The question of statutorization deals with the management system, which is what the minister is championing. So it is not separate and apart from the main point, which is the improvement of the quality of deliverance of service at the general hospital. So it's not different, but certainly what is required is the engagement, and I agree with you in terms of the question of statutorization. More conversation needs to be had, but certainly it's out there, and this is something that the Ministry of Health will take the lead on as we go forward into next year.
All right. Of course, Piran, I want to, of course, thank you for being here this morning. I want to get some closing comments before we take a wrap for today.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for the opportunity. Always a pleasure. We look forward to continued growth and improvement post-Hurricane Beryl, building back better, building back stronger and smarter, ensuring that we are doing the things that we need to do to build society and to improve the human capacity. Education as well is something that I think I didn't get to touch on much, but we have made significant strides. And as the budget process unfolds, and as people continue to contribute into what we want to see in the budget, we want to encourage that dialogue to continue. Speak to your representatives, speak to the different ministries, and engage so that we could build a better Grenada.
Of course, everyone, I want to thank you once again for coming. It's always a pleasure having a conversation with you. With somebody learn a whole lot from you in terms of what you disseminate to the listening and viewing audience. Until we do this again, have yourself a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point. Thank all who contributed towards today's program. Have yourself a great day, folks. That's where we say goodbye. Join us again here for another edition of To The Point.